Hi all, welcome to the first of three blogs this weekend. This one is going to be about our trip to Las Vegas. It is only me tonight. I am sorry, I am having to use my laptop tonight as the computer is playing up a little bit, so sorry about that. Um, so Las Vegas, what could I say about that? I mean, it was for our 10-year wedding anniversary. So it was, quite a special trip away. And I think we sort of agreed with each other that we were gonna sort of do what we wanted to do, and worry about the cost, I guess, when we came back. So hopefully, as we get into this, you'll hear what we've done and appreciate that it was one of those holidays that you wouldn't do every time. There is some thought that we might go back there next year for our 20-year anniversary, but even then, we certainly wouldn't do what we did when we went for the 10-year anniversary. So before sort of we get into the trip, as it were, I would just say that make sure you get your Resta sorted out. That is absolutely imperative to go to America. It does last 2 years. I can't remember the exact cost. I want to say sort of 15, 20 quid, something like that. But it is pretty straightforward. Obviously, as long as there's no sort of criminal record or anything like that, I think you're pretty good, to go with that. But just fill it in the right way, and obviously make sure your passport is up to date as well. Now we booked it all with BA, which was absolutely fine. There was no issues with that at all. We stayed at Bally's, and the reason we did that is we sort of made the decision that we would rather sort of stay somewhere slightly lesser, and have a bit more money to do what we wanted to do. So that is personal choice. If you've seen the vlog of the hotel where we stayed, the room was massive. I mean, it was just unreal. What we had. So Lord knows what sort of the Bellagios, Caesar's Palace, Venetians of this world, would be, because they are obviously clearly, the upmarket ones, along with sort of your Parises, Cosmoprods, and those sort of things. But as I say, that was completely our choice. And as I've said in all the vlogs when I'm talking about what we've done, it is our choice, and only our opinions. So people can make their own choices of what they want to do. Now we booked the transfer from the airport in Las Vegas. I think it's McLaren International, and it's not really necessary, if I'm honest with you. Nowhere, unless you're sort of, if you like, staying in downtown, is that far from the airport, really. I'll come to it near the end, but we only got a transfer there because I was pretty comfortable with the fact that we'll be able to sort ourselves out when we were coming back from the hotel, which we did. We just got a taxi, which was very, very straightforward, and a lot less. So, yeah, if there's any advice I can give to start with, it's definitely, um, you know, make your own way, from the airport to, your destination. I'm sure there is Uber there, as well as normal taxis. So, just make your own decision, do a little bit of research, but that's what I would suggest with that. As I said, we stayed at what was Bally's, now is the Horseshoe. So the first night we were there, I think we landed sort of late afternoon from memory. I can't remember exactly, what time it was, but it was sort of, later in the day. So by the time we got to the hotel, we were pretty whacked, but we'd booked to go on the link, which is the big wheel. Neither Julie and myself are massive drinkers, if I'm honest, but we did sort of treat ourselves, and we did go on the alcohol car, which was unlimited drink all the way around. Now, I'm not going to fib to you. When we came off it, I think we were both, pretty tipsy, because we'd literally got off an aeroplane, got to the hotel, probably got changed, and then went out again. We hadn't eaten nothing, so we did have to go and get something to eat, which we found a burger place, which is just near the link. Now, I think the place is what would appear would have changed hands now, but the place I think is still the same. And we saw a vlog fairly recently. For the life of me, I can't think who it is that was there. I think it's T&J Travels. They were there and they went to this place, and it looks completely different to what it was when we were there. Anyway, got a burger. That was absolutely fine. You obviously called it a night. That night we were pretty shattered, to be honest with you. The second day, which was the I think it was a Monday, and I'll come on to why I think it definitely was a Monday in a minute. But we decided we were going to walk left out of Horseshoe, which is, if you like, going up towards MGM Grand, New York, those sort of the hotel that way, the Luxor. I was just trying to rack my brains as to what the Pyramid Hotel was called, and that clearly is, it's the Luxor. Anyway, we had decided that we were going to go that way up the strip that day. What I'll say to you is, and I was going to come onto this at the end, but whatever anybody tells you about Las Vegas, be prepared to do lots of walking. You can't get cabs from one hotel to the other. It would be absolutely ridiculous. So if you're going there, prepare yourselves. There is loads and loads of walking to do. And no one can really describe it to you, other than prepare yourself for walking, because to walk from one hotel to the other, think, oh, it's just like when you're on a beach holiday, you can walk out one hotel to another. It's absolutely not that. The driveways, to these hotels are quarter, half a mile long, sort of thing. And then you have to do the same to get back to the next hotel. So just prepare yourself for that, because we certainly were warned about it, but until you've been there, you can't fathom it. You really can't. So just prepare yourself for that, because there is a hell of a lot of, I think we did sort of 15, 20,000 steps, and that was only halfway on the strip on the first day. I'd love to go back and look at those figures, but I haven't got the same watch anymore, so that wouldn't work anyway. So we got our photo taken in front of the Las Vegas sign. There's a bloke there. I think you give him a couple of quid, and he'll take your photo for you in front of the sign. It's a good little learning for him, because obviously there's so many people there. So fair dues to him for getting on that bandwagon. We went to the I think it's the 1 Mile shopping mall, which is sort of, I think, near Planet Hollywood. Excuse me. I don't think it's actually anything to do with Planet Hollywood, but it's connected, and you can certainly get into Planet Hollywood from the Mall shopping centre. Now, the reason we sort of came back is because that night Liverpool were playing Man United, and I'd done a little bit of research and found out the Bellagio Sportsbook, which is what they're called, was showing the game on a massive screen, and obviously 8 o'clock UK time is midday Las Vegas time, with the time difference. So it felt quite surreal trying to find somewhere to watch the football there, and it was absolutely boiling when we were there. But we got in there, for obviously all fully air conditioned, had a couple of beers. We may even have done the sort of the Million Mile shop shopping after, the football. I can't remember in what order, but it doesn't really matter. It's relevant from the point of view of what we did. And then I think after the football and probably the shopping, went back to the hotel. I mean, sorted ourselves out, and then we went to Rainforest Cafe that night, which again was left out of our hotel and past Paris, Planet Hollywood, and it was near there. Oh goodness me, I'm so high. So the third day, we had decided we were going to hire a car, which I chose to be a Mustang convertible, which was absolutely beautiful. Now, from Bally's as it was then, obviously now Horseshoe, the hire car company was literally behind Flamingo. Now it's in one of the other hotels, obviously clearly off the strip. I would have to do a little bit more research on that, and I can find it if I need to, and put it in the notes that it's sort of a hire car place bolted on the side of this hotel. Reputable place, but probably would have been one of the sort of the big names. Anyway, we were able to get there for about sort of 7:30 in the morning, I think it was. Because what we decided to do, we were going to go out to Red Rock. So we drove around the national park at Red Rock, which was really good. Which was really good. Lots of views. And it was pretty stunning scenery. So certainly something that I would well recommend if you're going there and you've got the opportunity. There must be tours that go out there, but that's certainly something to look into. And then we came out of Red Rock, the other end of the national park. We drove round to the far end of the strip. I want to say the south end of the strip, and we went there with some shopping outlets that end, which we went to. All very good. Got a few bits and pieces in there. We then drove right to the other end to Fremont Street, where there is some more outlets down that end, which we also went to. And then I think from memory, we went back and parked the car where we got it from, although we didn't give the keys back because we wanted to obviously go out that night, and we had the car for 24 hours. We then went to Outback Steakhouse for dinner. And then we went to the TaylorMade Golf Experience, which is just up the way from there, and it's an outdoor floodlit golf sort of par three course, but it's like nothing you would have experienced here. It's like you've got the carts, sort of the booze, people coming round, the whole ambience, and then obviously the strip in the background. There is some pictures and I believe some videos on the blog that I put on the Las Vegas blog. So again, if you want to have a look at that, it's definitely on there. We then parked the car up where we got it from, and then we had to take the keys back the following day. No, we posted the keys back through the return box. That's correct. Obviously, you have to make sure you got the safe fuel it, all the little stuff when you return a hire car. So that was that. That was really good experience. Definitely recommend that. And if we do go back, I will be hiring a car again, and we'll probably go out drive out to the Grand Canyon, and maybe even do Death Valley as well. I'm really keen on doing some of this stuff and seeing more of the scenery and what have you. So hopefully that is something that we can certainly look at doing in the future. The fourth day, we did a right out of the hotel. I sort of walked up, as I say, to the north end of the strip, which is sort of going towards Venetian, Treasure Island, past Flamingo. That end, we went into the Venetian, went on the gondolas. Just having a quick look at my notes. Yeah, we went to Gordon Ramsay's that night, which I believe is in Bellagio. That was all all really nice, flipping expensive for what it is, but you know what you're getting when you go into these places. So just bear that in mind. But it's certainly a good experience. We then did um, we did Madden Two Swords that day as well, which, as I've said in previous vlogs, in order of the three I've been to, which is New York, Las Vegas, and London, I would put that in second place, with New York being first. I thought London was just so badly organised, and I didn't think it was as good as the other places, to be fair. And we also went up the Eiffel Tower at Paris as well, so we were able to watch fire, the water show from Bally's from the top of the Eiffel Tower. So that was really good as well. The fifth and final full day we did the helicopter champagne breakfast out to the Grand Canyon. Um, Again, one of those experiences that you'll never forget. It was absolutely fantastic. You know, the scenery was absolutely fantastic, and I would definitely recommend it. Very, very expensive, but it's one of those things that you'll only do once, and I do recommend doing it if you can afford to do it. It was absolutely breathtaking, and something that we'll probably never do again. That took us up till lunchtime. And then I think sort of we'd made the decision just sort of had a bit of a chilled afternoon. So we did a bit of shopping. I've already said, it was our 10-year anniversary. So we went to the Stratosphere for a meal in the evening. Absolutely unbelievable. Really, really, really well looked after. Slightly concerning when you see signs up there saying, "Don't worry about people jumping off the building," which sort of is a bit freaky when you see people doing it. But it is, obviously, they are on bungee cables and they are sort of jumping off the side of the building under controlled circumstances. So it's nothing to worry about. We then from there got a taxi to Fremont Street so we could appreciate it at night. Again, I think they sort of warn you there. There are sort of pickpockets, about. I think that goes for anywhere, doesn't it? But they did sort of warn us about it. We weren't there that long. We just sort of did a walkabout. We went into Billions Hotel, and had our photo taken with a stack of money. We then went to the botanical garden at Bellagio, which again was really good. And then the sixth and final day, that literally was just a chilling out day. We basically had a very late flight back, so we had to be out of the room sort of by lunchtime, I think it was. And we um, yeah, we just sort of did our packing, put the bag somewhere safe at the hotel, which they've obviously got that sort of area to do that. And then we just sort of, had a bit of a lazy day, really. I think we went to Flamingo for breakfast, and then just did a bit more walking around the strip. The normal stuff that you do, when you've not got all your sort of luggage and stuff with you. So from that point of view, it was an enjoyable final day, just chilling out. We then, as I said, got the taxi back to the airport, which was all very easy. And again, we were well looked after. Whilst with the taxi and obviously at the airport by BA. Just a couple of other sort of bits and pieces to mention. I'm just reading back through my notes to make sure I haven't missed anything. But just be mindful of the amount of walking you're going to be doing. It is steps and steps and steps. It's definitely a well recommended thing to do if you want to do that sort of thing. It is a bit of an adult's playground. That's what I sort of like to sort of call it. There is a significant smell of weed in certain places. Again, that is fact of life there. It was exactly the same as New York. The breakfast, we had breakfast at Cosmopolitan, and Flamingo. We did actually have a breakfast at Bally's as well, but it wasn't that special, if I'm honest with you, at Bally's. Whether it's any different now, it's horseshoes. I don't know. I've obviously not been, but Cosmopolitan and Flamingo were amazing. Um, and I think, guys, really, that sort of sums it up. Really, it was a very, very fast-paced 5.5 days we were there. It was, as I say, one of those holidays that you wouldn't do every time you go away because you'd just be completely knackered, quite frankly. But it's certainly something I would recommend. As I say, it's certainly something that we're discussing, maybe going back next year for our 20-year anniversary. As I say, that very much depends on finances and everything else, but it's certainly something that we are seriously considering. So yeah, that'll be something else to look forward to. Just on a final note, there will be two more vlogs this weekend. You got one tomorrow night at the same time, 8 o'clock, on travelling for the first time, or just a general refresher for people. And then on Sunday night, it's the normal chat with Triple J's TV, just about stuff over the weekend. Anything you want to discuss? So hopefully you can catch up for one or both of those. Keep it real, and we will do this again soon. Thanks, guys.